Think different. These two words didn't just sell computers. They sparked a revolution. And at the heart of that revolution was a man in a black turtleneck. A visionary, a rebel, a genius. Steve Jobs. But who was the man behind the icon? His story isn't just about iPhones and MacBooks. It's a tale of passion, failure, and a relentless pursuit of perfection that changed the world forever. Today, we're diving deep into the life of the master innovator who taught us all to stay hungry and stay foolish. Born in San Francisco in 1955, Steve was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs, a working-class couple in what would soon be known as Silicon Valley. From a young age, he was different. His father, a machinist, taught him the importance of craftsmanship in their garage, instilling in Steve a deep appreciation for design and detail, even for the parts no one would ever see. This wasn't just about building things, it was about building things beautifully. His fascination with electronics and design grew alongside a rebellious spirit. School bored him. He was a prankster, a brilliant mind searching for a challenge that traditional education couldn't provide. It was this search that led him to a fabled garage, and a friendship that would change the course of modern technology. In that garage, he met Steve Wozniak, or was, a technical wizard who could make electronics sing. Jobs saw something more than just circuits and code in Wozniak's creations. He saw the future. While Woz was the engineering genius, Jobs was the visionary. He knew how to package Woz's brilliance, how to turn a complex bundle of wires into something desirable, something people needed, even if they didn't know it yet. After a brief, soul-searching trip to India and a stint at Reed College, Jobs returned with a new perspective. He and Wozniak started building computers in the Jobs family garage. Their first creation, the Apple I, was a raw motherboard for hobbyists. But Jobs had a bigger vision. He didn't want to sell to hobbyists. He wanted to sell to everyone. He envisioned a personal computer, a friendly, accessible tool that could empower ordinary people. In 1976, Apple Computer was born. The following year, they launched the Apple II. It was a masterpiece of user-friendly design. Unlike other computers of the time, it came in a sleek, plastic case and could display color graphics. It was a sensation, turning Apple from a garage startup into a major player in the nascent personal computer industry. Steve Jobs wasn't just selling a machine, he was selling a dream of personal empowerment. As Apple grew, so did Jobs' reputation. He was brilliant, charismatic, but also notoriously difficult. He had an uncompromising vision and demanded nothing short of perfection from his team. He could be inspiring one moment and terrifying the next, a phenomenon his employees called his reality distortion field. He could convince anyone of anything, pushing them to achieve what they thought was impossible. His next big obsession was the Macintosh. During a visit to Xerox PARC, a research center, Jobs saw something that blew his mind. A graphical user interface with windows, icons, and a mouse. He instantly realized this was the future of computing. He wasn't the inventor of the idea, but he was the one who would perfect it and bring it to the masses. The Macintosh project became his crusade. He poured his heart and soul into it, driving the team to create a computer that was insanely great. The Mac, launched in 1984 with a legendary Super Bowl commercial, was a triumph of design. It was the first mass-market computer that felt intuitive, artistic, and human. It introduced the world to the desktop, to fonts, to the idea that a computer could be a tool for creativity, not just calculation. But success came at a cost. Jobs' intense, often abrasive, management style created friction within the rapidly growing company. He clashed with the board and with John Scully, the CEO he had famously recruited from Pepsi, with the challenge. Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life? Or do you want to come with me and change the world? In 1985, in a stunning boardroom coup, the man who co-founded Apple was forced out of his own company. It was a devastating blow. At just 30 years old, the public face of the personal computer revolution was an outcast. He later described it as being publicly fired, a humiliating experience that could have broken anyone. But it didn't break Steve Jobs. Instead, it became what he would later call one of the best things that ever happened to him. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. This period of exile became a time of incredible creativity. He founded Next, a company that built powerful, high-end computers for the education market. The Next computer was too expensive to be a commercial hit, but its software was revolutionary. At the same time, he bought a small computer graphics division from George Lucas and transformed it into an animation powerhouse, Pixar. Under Jobs' leadership, Pixar combined art and technology to create Toy Story, the first of her feature-length computer-animated film. It was a massive success and changed filmmaking forever. Steve Jobs, the tech visionary, had now also revolutionized Hollywood. Meanwhile, back at Apple, things were not going well. Without Jobs' vision, the company had lost its way. It was bleeding market share, its product line was confusing, and it was on the verge of bankruptcy. In a final, desperate move, Apple bought Next in 1997, primarily for its advanced software, and with that purchased, the king returned from exile. Steve Jobs came back, not as an employee, but as an interim CEO, or ICEO. The company he returned to was a shadow of its former self. He acted swiftly and ruthlessly. He slashed the product line, cutting 70% of the projects to focus on just a few key areas. He re-energized the demoralized employees and re-established Apple's core mission: to build incredible products at the intersection of technology and liberal arts. He forged a surprising alliance with Microsoft, bringing in a much-needed cash infusion. Then, with his longtime design partner, Jony Ive, he began to work his magic. In 1998, they unveiled the iMac. It was unlike any computer ever seen. It came in a translucent, candy-colored shell and declared, "The back of our computer looks better than the front of anyone else's." It was a statement. Apple was back, and it was cool again. But the iMac was just the beginning of the most remarkable second act in business history. Jobs saw that the personal computer was evolving. It was becoming a digital hub for a person's life, their music, their photos, their videos. To fulfill this vision, Apple needed to create not just great computers, but an entire ecosystem of devices and software. In 2001, he introduced the iPod. It wasn't the first digital music player, but it was quintessentially Apple. It was beautiful, easy to use, and featured the brilliant slogan, "1,000 songs in your pocket." Paired with the iTunes software, it completely revolutionized the music industry. Next came the iPhone in 2007. Jobs famously introduced it as 3 revolutionary products in one: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communicator. It wasn't a phone. It was a supercomputer in your pocket. The iPhone didn't just change the mobile phone industry. It changed human behavior itself. And in 2010, he unveiled the iPad, creating an entirely new category of device between the smartphone and the laptop. Each of these products was a massive gamble, a bet on a future that only Steve Jobs could see so clearly. His genius was in understanding not what consumers said they wanted, but what they would want. He focused on the user experience above all else, on simplicity, on making technology feel like magic. Underneath this incredible string of successes, Jobs was fighting a private battle with pancreatic cancer. He faced his illness with the same intensity and focus he brought to everything else. He continued to lead Apple, unveiling new products and inspiring his team, even as his health declined. In his famous 2005 Stanford commencement speech, he shared his philosophy on life, forged through his unique journey. He spoke of connecting the dots, of love and loss, and of death as life's greatest invention. His message was clear: your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. And his closing words have inspired millions. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Steve Jobs passed away in 2011, but his legacy is all around us. It's in the devices we use every day, in the clean design we've come to expect, and in the belief that a small group of passionate people can, indeed, change the world. He was a complex man, part artist, part tyrant, part showman, part genius. But above all, he was a visionary who'd never lost his faith in the power of human creativity. He didn't just build a company. He built a new way of seeing the world. And that is a legacy that will endure. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as we do, Do you want to forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of the people who shaped our world? See you next time.